Donald Trump's new social media platform. You might remember, so I'm going to go through this because I'm a little bit underwhelmed, but I'm not angry at all. I'm just, I don't know why he bigged this up so much. So you might remember, of course, that Donald Trump was deleted off of everything for nothing. I'm not even joking. You remember that the accusation was that he had incited violence, and of course he didn't. So this is one of the articles we had listing it at the time, that Donald Trump was deplatformed from Twitter, he was deplatformed from Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and a whole bunch of others, all at the same time, all for the same policy that all of them suddenly had, all together.
It's almost as though they're a cabal.
Interesting how that works, isn't it?
Almost as though that were the case, yeah. Is this what people are seeing right now? They've got my article over on the side there, BB Dade.
So this is just listing the fact that he was accused of inciting violence by all of them, and it got worse, of course. It got much worse. If you go to the next one, he got completely unpersoned. So it wasn't just you're suspended, it was you're banned from everything. I mean, he was banned from, his bank account was gone, his, his club's golfing association banned him, fucking MySpace banned him.
Is that even still a thing? MySpace?
I don't think if he's ever had an account on MySpace, but MySpace got rid of him, Stripe got rid of him, and now he's sort of a walking pariah like British Voldemort, for example.
You think the next thing, if they could, they would want people to believe that he never existed? It's
Sure.
not enough to unperson you, you have to be erased from history.
I don't know why the party wouldn't want that, so... Anyway, but this is just documenting history. But if we go to the next one here, so this is a couple of months ago in which he said, or at least a spokesman for him said, that Trump will be returning to social media with his own platform in 2 to 3 months. You're like, okay. Bit strange, because it's you just got the platform from a bunch. Most people expected him to join Parler. Of course, they went after Parler and got rid of them. No fault of Parler's own. They were destroyed by a cabal, as you say. And... that happened. So instead, he wanted to set up his own social media, seemed to be what the spokesman was saying. So a couple of quotes from them. I do think that we're going to see President Trump returning to social media in probably about 2 or 3 months here, with his own platform, a senior Trump advisor Jason Miller told Fox News. And this is something that I think will be the hottest ticket in social media. It's going to be completely redefining the game, and everyone is going to be waiting and watching to see exactly what President Trump does. So he's going to set up his own social media that's going to redefine all of social media. This platform is going to be big, Miller said, preceding that Trump will draw tens of millions of people to the platform. Okay, so it's going to be a huge social media site. He's going to set up in 2 months, and it's going to be the biggest thing ever. It's got millions of people. And of course, this is sort of Trump show voting. I mean, typical, everything's going to be great. It's going to be
huge.
It's going to be grading, and it's going to be huge.
So
all
great.
that stuff. What is it? So he's launched it. If you can go to the next one, it's a blog. It's a blog. It's him blogging on his blog.
So a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, it's not even a bad thing. It's if he wanted to, because it was really hard to find his posts, the office of the former president or whatever it was he set up. And you could see it post up on Twitter from Disclosed TV or whatever. Here's a statement from the president telling so-and-so to get effed. but it was irritating to find them, so it's good that he set up a blog. But what I don't really get is why the hype? Why the whole, we're going to be the best platform on planet Earth. We're going to have tens of millions of people coming over to this platform. It's going to be the biggest thing, and then it's just a blog.
So this does just look like essentially sort of tweets, just lists, yeah.
Yeah, so he's just essentially redone Twitter, except it's just him. So I mean, technically it's a platform.
So yeah, it is a platform.
It's a platform of one. But,
right.
Sure. I mean, this is the thing. I'm not mad. This isn't bad. I mean, it's nice, but just why be we're gonna compete with Twitter and Facebook to launch a blog? I don't know. Just weird.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's full-throated. It doesn't seem like his heart's massively in it. I mean, if I was a billionaire or whatever, and I wanted to get my voice out there or launch a platform, I'd get a team of people to put something together better than that.
Or at least that's what you'd expect he was doing, which is why everyone assumed when his spokesman was like, yeah, we're going to set up a new platform with tens of millions of people on it. It's wasn't really expecting a blog, but okay. I just wanted to play the first clip, which is just the first video that's on here when you go on to see what he's talking about. So let's just see this.
Consign him and those who supported him in the Senate to the trash heap of history.
Twitter permanently banning the commander-in-chief's personal account with 88 million followers.
I mean, nice, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I like your blog, bro, but it is just a blog.
It's quite serious music there.
Yeah, I mean, I like the boomerism about it as well. But, so to give an example, if you click on one of the posts, so this is an example here, which is just I like these here. I mean, I'm not complaining that this is a thing, as I say. But so an example: so nice to see Rhino Mitt Romney booed off the stage by the Utah Republican State Convention. They are among the earliest to have figured this guy out. A stone cold loser! Exclamation point. It's great. It's wonderful. I mean, it's the nice stuff about his Twitter account, except now it's his blog where he just posts these kind of things. And if you, John, if you can click on the heart there, just you can see like what you can do. Like as a guest, you can just heart it. It's really weird. Like, there's no number of like how many people. It's just a thing you can do. And if you click on the, I don't want you to, but if you click on the like Twitter or Facebook links, it like sends you to Twitter or Facebook, and you can share this blog post to your Facebook or Twitter account to be like, hey, look, President Donald Trump blogged this thing, which it is weird. I don't really know what else to call it. Like it's nice, but it's just strange.
Well, I'm no programmer. In fact, my technical abilities are pretty limited. But this seems like it's sort of kind of entry-level stuff. Like you could get one person that really knows what they're doing, put this together in a day or two. Is that? Am I being silly there or no?
I mean, I don't know either. I don't know. I don't write websites.
It does
so
seem a bit straightforward, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being really unfair, really unkind. But
I mean, it might just be. I like the chat is just like, nah, it's a big troll. It's got to be a big troll. I'm like,
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, maybe he's playing 4D chess, and this is a huge troll. But I don't buy it. I think actually his spokesman was just talking and he was just setting up a blog. Right. So whatever. Right. But there is a reason for this, of course, which is that as I said, you can share his blog post, so you can share a link to his blog, but you can't. You would have thought, okay, this is kind of pathetic, but it is pathetic, but what other options has he got? I mean, he can't be on there, and it gets worse than that. Like, you can't even have his voice on Facebook. So, for example, if you want to interview British Voldemort, the man who shall not be named, because he can't be, otherwise you get kicked. So he was banned from all social media, I think it was like a couple of years ago or something, and you could still interview him. You could have him on, like you could have Alex Jones on, and you could interview the guy, and be like, hey, this guy believes this. This is my show, interviewing them. He's the bad guy, I'm not. And that was okay. Everyone was okay with that. Not with Donald Trump. With Donald Trump, his voice, as it says here, voice of Donald Trump is banned on Facebook. So his, I think his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, decided to post a video in which she interviewed Donald Trump. And for posting the video, she got a hit. She got it taken down because she had the voice of Donald Trump on her Facebook page. So that is why. I mean, he could do a whole bunch of interviews, but that's not allowed. All he can do is share his blog posts. That's all that's allowed to exist. So it says in here that she was banned for showing that video, and in response, Facebook sent her this message. We are reaching out to let you know that we removed content from Laura Trump's Facebook page that featured President Trump speaking. In line with the block we placed on Donald Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts, further content posted in the voice of Donald Trump will be removed as a result in additional limitations on the account. Sorry, Lara. Sorry. But the fact that his voice, I mean, they literally say the president's voice is the thing that's banned. I mean, his vocal cords are forbidden.
I think we're firmly in the realm of like hysteria, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, as Lara points out, she responded with, "And just like that, we're one step closer to Orwell's 1984." Wow. I was like, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, the party would unperson people by making sure that they never existed. I mean, if you want to ban the guy from being able to be on there, but also ban his voice from being on your platform. I mean, British Voldemort, there's a reason we have to call him British Voldemort. It's not just for show. Like, if you mention his name on certain platforms, the content gets taken down. If you show an image of him in your profile picture or as a picture, it'll get taken down. I mean, John's got the best example of this, in which he took an image with the guy, like, holding him here. And then when he found out about the ban, he, like, went into Photoshop and just, like, silhouetted him out. So it's just pure black where he is.
TR, yeah.
Yeah, so he's just holding, like, a silhouette. Yeah, the TR, the guy who can't be named.
Yeah, right.
So, and then that got him a strike on Facebook. And it's just like, Jesus Christ.
The thing is, actually, in 1984, I mean, it's an obvious and much used analogy, isn't it? But in 1984, they use the image and voice of Goldstein. Every day, isn't it? 2 minutes of hate, is it? A few minutes of hate, where you're encouraged to hear the voice of the enemy of the party. Well, so there's specific reasons for that in the novel 1984, but this has gone beyond that even. They're not even prepared to do that, to use it as a tool. It's just stop it. Just end it.
I mean, They used to have the 2 minutes of hate with Donald Trump when he was around, and now he's not around. They've gone to the unperson section, which is just pretend he didn't exist. He's gone. Never happened. So they say in this article, I can't remember which one of you guys wrote it, but it's great. So the approach of banning such an important figure from being shown on a platform is unprecedented. Prior to Facebook's latest move, only individuals' own accounts were subject to being banned, whereas others were not prevented from hosting content featured on said banned accounts. As I mentioned, you could interview Alex Jones or British Voldemort because, well, this is my platform and I'm interviewing them and, I'm asking them a question. That was the case, and now it's gone to the point of just his voice. So presumably the same goes for all other figures. So I don't know if Alex Jones's voice is now also banned. I mean, what about British Voldemort's voice? Like, if you report something he said, is that something worthy of a ban now?
God knows.
Who knows? And it's, as you can see, it's just an attempt to stifle free speech and create that chilling effect in which just there's so much uncertainty. I mean, what do you even do? And continuing here, that most of the language around what President Trump was accused of was he was accused of insurrection or a coup d'etat on January 6th, except that now that we've gone through the process, he was acquitted. And also, most of the actual rioters who were charged ended up going from riots to being charged with trespassing, as Politico reports. Although prosecutors have loaded their charging documents with language about an existential threat of an insurrection to the Republic, the actions of many individual rioters have been boiled down to trespassing, because they just broke in, and then they were just wandering the halls. I mean, what were they going to do?
Yeah, not a great deal. Huh?
I think
why don't these people seem to the people banning Trump's voice, even or Facebook, whoever it is, they don't seem to have taken on board the Streisand effect.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
like when you ban a thing, it makes people want to go. And
yeah, and that's a really powerful thing. I mean, I remember when I was younger, or not 18, I really wanted to. You want to see any sort of banned film or whatever, and at the time Clockwork Orange was sort of a banned movie, and so everyone wanted, people that had a pirate Clockwork Orange, everyone wanted it. It's a really strong thing.
Doesn't work,
right?
Like fundamentally, it doesn't get rid of the thing unless you fully unperson them.
Because imagine there's a new generation of people that we don't have to imagine the new generation of people that might not really know much about, or wouldn't know anything about Trump from the 80s and 90s, and aware of the name but weren't really paying attention during his presidency. In the next 3 years or 5 years, whatever, you hear this guy is so dangerous that you're not even allowed to hear his voice. How interesting or intriguing is that? They just...
I mean, that's the thing that made me so interested in British Voldemort growing up, because it was just like, why is this guy hated so much? And it was just like, I think Islamization is a bad thing. It's like, what? Like that's the forbidden opinion? Really? Anyway, so just going on here, so Donald Trump being acquitted, as mentioned, like they went through the whole trial. Right, remember we covered this. The Democrats literally started fabricating evidence, and so embarrassingly that they lost that attempt. In which case, well, why is he still banned? For what? Like, he's literally been exonerated. He didn't do nothing. So says the US government. So what are Facebook doing? So Facebook, in response, I don't know about Twitter, they've decided to set up an oversight board which will look into the matter of the banning of Donald Trump, because now, well, he didn't do nothing, so what's he banned for? So if you can get up the next link, this is their page here, oversight board, ensuring respect for free expression through independent judgment. Like, not sure about this. Like, why do you need an oversight board to defend free expression? And who from, Facebook? Because Facebook are the ones that set this up. Like, they say this is an independent body, and okay, sure, but you still set it up. So I'm not sure about how independent a thing can be that you created. To overlook yourself to tell you whether or not you're damaging free expression.
Yeah, it's your own mods or something.
I don't understand. Like, you must know what you're doing is wrong if you're having to set up oversight boards to reconciliate the fact that you've been overly censorious. It's weird. So who's on it? Because that's all that really matters. Who's on this board? So if you go to the next link, there's going to have a section which you can meet the board. So you can scroll down, it's just so there's some portraits, and there's like 20 odd people. So we're not going to go through all of them, but most of them that I've seen are like from law backgrounds or journalism backgrounds. So I can't really make too much of a judgment because I don't know almost anyone on here. And I mean, who would? But it looks very checkmarky. Like, it looks like the kind of people on Twitter that would all have check marks. So yeah. Right. And there is one I was able to recognize, which is actually an ex-prime minister from Denmark, and she's from the Social Democrat Party. So, I mean, take a guess as to what her opinion will be on free expression of Donald Trump. Banned. So the only person on that I did find that was interesting, he was described as an expert in like free speech, was this guy from the Cato Institute. So John Samples. So if you go to the next link, I did see on the Cato Institute they had a debate about Donald Trump, but irritatingly they called it that and then just didn't talk about it. I watched the thing; it was a waste of time. But we can go to the Cato Institute and just see what their opinion is on the whole thing, because there was a senior fellow who wrote an article about this exact issue. So if you go to the next link, there's some senior fellow. Sorry, there should be another Cato Institute link there, in which they're talking about whether or not they should ban him. And they say in here that the Rousseauian right thinks that Twitter violated their freedom of speech when they are blocked from it, but Twitter is a private property. It has provided you with a megaphone that you would not have if it did not exist, which it never had an obligation to do. If it decides to withdraw your megaphone, you are free to talk without it, or to get another one, or even build your own. Libertarians, shut up. Just shut up. Like, I'm so sick of this. Just build your own. What happened to Parler? What happened to Parler? Where is it? Who's on it? Who's on it now? It's probably still down for like maintenance or something at this point.
You're free to build your own platform, as we are free to then destroy you for trying to do that.
Yeah, and we are free to build a cabal which will destroy anyone who threatens us. Sure. And I'm sure like this is the stupidest argument as well. You always hear it like, oh, they're a company, they can do whatever they want. What? Like, slave companies were companies. Like, it doesn't mean they can do whatever they want. Like, sure, they can act within the law, but that doesn't mean what they're doing is right or wrong, and that's the question. Was the banning of Donald Trump for not doing something right or wrong? I mean, he didn't do the thing they're accusing him of. Therefore, is the banning right or wrong? That's the question. So he continues in here to end it with, whatever it is, it's not a violation of free speech, not in the Lockean Enlightenment tradition, at least. And I understand his argument here, which is essentially that Twitter's private property, and therefore they're allowing anyone they want on the place, but that doesn't change the reality of the situation, which is, like it or not, these are the public squares of discourse. I mean, everyone recognizes this. And there's no easy solution, of course, but one of the solutions is obviously alternative do-it-yourself stuff. And Parler, I mean, where's Parler? Parler's dead. So what's Donald Trump had to do? He set up his own blog, which is, I mean, that's it. That's it.
Oh, there is, I suppose, the idea of sort of anti-monopoly laws. I mean, I think of the example of the big oil tycoons at the end of the 19th century, early 20th century, like John D. Rockefeller, for example, or there's many sort of the steel magnates, Carnegie, people like this, or J.P. Morgan, sort of in the realm of just money. But John D. Rockefeller just sort of bought everything he needed to just control that industry, more or less. And in the end, the government was like, okay, this is insane. We can't let you do that.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to pass a bunch of laws to prevent you from doing it. And it becomes an arms race. They then try and do everything they can within the framework to still have their monopoly, and it goes on and on and on. But a sovereign nation is able to, or should be able to, prevent monopolies happening.
Like if the monopolies only usually exist because the government assists them in what they're doing, but like with this, with Section 127, sorry, not 127, what is it? Section something or other, the one that gives them immunity from being sued, the one that the Republicans are always threatening with taking away from them. I can't remember the section off the top of my head. Anyway, but they get this situation, and as you say, it's eerily similar to the Rockefellers or company towns and things like this, and everyone knows it, in which case that we know what the solution is. We've been here before. You have to intervene to protect the free speech rights of the population.
Right, and the fact that they're not, that the US
230,
establishment...
230, thank you, Jack.
That the US state or establishment, or whatever you want to call it, the fact that they're not doing that, or don't seem that they're like really want to do that, well, that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it say that they're actually okay with how it is?
But there's also something to be said here of the disappointment in Donald Trump himself or his team. I don't know if it's his decision or not, which is the alternative media. So, I mean, here's Gab setting up an account for Donald Trump, in which they've called it off, they've given it a little check mark. They've been posting his tweets ever since he was on there and whatever public statements he makes. And apparently he doesn't run it. That's not him. That's, the Gab team doing it for him. And then there's also Minds as well, if we can go to the Minds link, in which they've set up a little account for him, being like, hey, if you want to come to alternative social medias that won't ban you, we're here for you. We will give you a place in which you can give your thoughts and we won't censor you. And he's not there. Why? I mean, I don't understand it. Yeah, so they've updated it with their blogs on Gab.
It does beg the question, doesn't it?
It's the thing of just like, why is he not there?
Yeah,
Like, why is he himself not doing these things? It's embarrassing to see him not come out and be like, yeah, alternative social media is the best. Screw you guys are the worst. And then you could say, well, here's the new free market that will overtake the old monopolies that are, not good to their customers. But that's not what's happening, which is sad. But that's why he's got a blog now. So check out his blog, I guess.
Cool beans.
Donald Trump, blogger.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.